How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing exquisite. I was just in another meeting. Excuse my tardiness. I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. We're glad to have you. We're excited for you to be on the Worship Nights tour this fall. Are you looking forward to that?
Oh yes, we're gonna have an amazing time. It's gonna be tons and tons of fun.
We're excited. We've been playing your song "Love Will Always Win," and so that's how we knew exactly who you were when they said that you were going to be on the Passion Nights
Wow,
tour.
that's super cool. Thank you so much for your support.
Absolutely. We really enjoy this song, and so we kind of wanted to get you to like let us know like who you are, where you're from, so we can kind of introduce you to our listeners.
For sure. Yeah. So I'm Travis Greene, and I'm a Georgia boy at heart. That's where I pretty much grew up. My first 4 years of my life were in Germany, and from there, I was in Georgia all the way through college, and I went to Georgia Southern University, and I love people, love music, and I just love inspiring people. And so the opportunity to travel and sing and minister the gospel is really a dream of mine, and that's become a reality.
Well, it's very unusual when I first started playing Love Always Win, it reminded me kind of that gritty southern, like Need to Breathe, kind of more of that gritty sound. It's a cool, different sound for worship, especially. And I love a lot of your songs. I've been listening to your album, and I think I like from your crossover album, Have Your Way. That's what it was.
Have your way.
Yes. Oh, I love that. So your new album crossover is live from Music City. You've got some live songs, but you've also got some studio music in there. And so, how did you get into music in particular, as far as getting into worship music?
For me, it was just always. I often say I didn't choose music; it chose me. It was just always kind of a part of my life growing up. My mother was a choir director in the South, and so music was like oxygen in our home. It was just a part of our daily lives, and I gained a passion and a love for it at a very early age, where I really didn't want to do anything but that, and so that's kind of how I got my start into it.
Well, and your worship music through Pat. I mean, like, how did you get hooked up with Passion for the Worship Nights tour?
Well, Passion is a church and a movement that I've adored from a distance for several years of, probably over a decade, and really just love them and what they stand for and what they do, and they've just been such an amazing source of inspiration for me, and I just think more and more as with the music and the release of music, um, it's just gained the attention of different people, and then they caught wind of what I do, and they came to a show, to one of my concerts on my last tour, and checked me out, and uh, really just gave me an invitation to do some collaboration with them, which for me is like I said, a dream come true, because I have such admiration for what they do. Um, and so that's really how the connection was made. We just hung out and kind of talked and shared vision about what it is that we want to accomplish for the kingdom, and and God really He really connected our hearts to want to do kingdom work together, and that's how it happened.
And so, but you are also a pastor. You're not just a worship singer, correct?
Correct.
So, where are you a pastor in Georgia as well?
So our church is in Columbia, South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
It's called Forward City Church, and it's an amazing, amazing group of people who we were. For me, I often say, traveling is one thing, being able to inspire people abroad is one thing, but to be able to see life change happen week after week is something that uh, is breathtaking, and that's what we get to do here at Forward City. Our vision is uh, literally to engage and redefine culture for the unchurched and the overchurched, and that's what we call it. And so it's a lot of fun, and I have a deep passion for it.
And do you find sometimes that the unchurched and the overchurched are just about as lost? Like, as far as like, you know what I mean? I mean,
Absolutely.
when you say overchurched, I can completely assume like what that means is it's to the point where it becomes the message becomes very watered down.
Yeah.
Like it has no impact anymore. It's so full of, you know, almost like bumper stickers and
Yep.
that kind of thing where it's just
Yep.
um where we got to get back to uh the guy who came to earth and put
Right.
sandals on and wore a tunic and walked around and did was a play. I told my son recently, my son was like, thinking he should be like farther along, like have a better job title and things like that. And I said, well, if your savior is a carpenter, I'm pretty much sure that any day labor job is good with you. Like, I mean, he was a day laborer. I don't know. You're
Yep.
already like pushing above that. So I'm pretty sure that that was never about what he was about.
Wow. Yeah, it's so good and so true. I think
Because there's
for the
such a
overture.
pressure for young kids to like
Yeah.
define who they are in high
Yep.
school, like know what they want to do when they get out of high school, and then even in college, know what you want to do. Or if they don't go to college, they feel less of a person,
Yep.
and it's not for everybody. I
Yep.
have three kids, and for two kids, college was the thing. It was for them, but for my son, it just wasn't, and
Yep.
I think he feels like he's not accomplishing enough by that. And I said, you serve God's people and you serve God and follow him. That's what he wants. And that may
Yep.
lead you down, um, you know, and you may be doing something like digging ditches or
Hmm.
it's always like what people go to, but you could do that. You could be a lawyer, you could be a doctor, or you could be somewhere in between. You
Yep.
could be a missionary. You have no idea until he calls you. And it may be that right where you're at, in a monotonous job, you can be working at a factory where you're basically, putting out widgets all day.
Hmm.
It's it's still you've got to put a light in every place that you have. And I think
Wherever you are. Yep.
wherever you're at, and every job has a place where his light is needed, very much so.
For sure. Totally, totally, totally agree. And I think for the older church, it's really more of unlearning, which is sometimes as tough as, if not tougher, than actually learning. And so for us, exactly what you're saying is why our church exists, to be able to engage and redefine what that looks like for a non-believer and someone who has been in this for so long that they have expectations for their own self that sometimes aren't even God's expectation for them. And so it's been great. It's been great to do, and I definitely agree with everything that you told your son, and your philosophy about uh, life and living one that's pleasing to God. I think is beautiful.
I'm curious, are you the singing pastor? Do you break out in song like while you're doing your sermons? I know some pastors do that.
I would not so much while I'm doing my service. Sometimes, if I walk up and they just concluded worship, I'll kind of join in a little. But my wife made me stop singing as much as I did when we first started, because we do 3 services, and she's always concerned about me preserving my voice. So she told me to pace myself a little more.
Yeah, because the preaching alone is a lot on your voice, but to be singing as well as that, that's got to be hard. And especially for your touring. Is this kind of like the first big tour you've done?
I mean, it's probably around the same size as my solo tour that I just came off of. And so the room, I think the venue size is very similar. And so no, I've done a few. I've done a few tours. I've done the Caribbean tours, and I do a lot internationally. So we do quite a bit in Europe and in Africa. And so I'm used to used to moving around quite a bit. I've been doing it for some years now, but more heavily in the past 3 years. And so
That's quite the balancing act you got going on, and that's
yeah.
probably the hardest thing is achieving balance, right?
Absolutely. For me, it's more of um, kind of flowing in a rhythm, and
Yeah.
so I try to find a rhythm that just kind of works for my family and myself. Control chaos is what we call it, and that for us just works. But we understand it's a family's call. It's not just daddy's call, and so we're all on board together. My wife and everybody, we know what it is that we're called to accomplish, and but family's always first. So that's a
Absolutely.
priority, and God's presence and then family, and then everything else.
Wow. Well, I am so glad to talk to you because I have been enjoying your music and I've never got to talk to you or introduce you officially like this to our listeners. So we are so grateful that you took time out and looking forward to your worship nights tour. You're going to be here November 10th in Valdosta. So we look forward to you guys coming through here and getting to see you live.
I can't wait. Thank you so much for your time, Ginger, and I can't wait to hang out in my